As always, we try and do something a bit different every weekend, because it's always good to hear from different people, because they always have a different perspective on stuff. Something that may appeal to you or not, depending on the person. But we found this to work really, really well. And on today's call, we've got another great speaker and trainer and business builder. Just a bit of background on Jason. Jason has been with the company now for just 7 months. His background, he has an IT and project and program manager. He had his own consultancy business for over 20 years. And he's been working in finance in both the private and public sectors, delivering large-scale infrastructure projects. So he joined CFX, as I said, just under 7 months ago, and is building a business remarkably quickly, and I mean remarkably quickly. In fact, I don't even know how you did this, Jason. It's absolutely extraordinary, but he hit executive in just 27 hours. I think you must have been cheating. You must have been lining it up before you joined. He then went on to become manager just 14 days later, and a director in just over 4 months, which is extraordinary. He now has over 3,000 members in his team, and has just upgraded to the 100K pack. So congratulations on that. You'll see a significant step up in your income that you can take out from the business, which I'm sure you've already noticed. So Jason has got a lot to share. He does this training regularly for his team. So I thought it'd be great if he'd come on this call and show us all. So over to you, Jason.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it, and appreciate the invite to come on and share a little bit about my compass with your wider team. And regarding the 100K pack, had my first day's trading returns yesterday. Oh my word, what a difference that makes. That was a very exciting time for sure. Okay, so before I get into the training, I want to take everybody back in time. Okay, I want to take everybody back about 2,000 years, back to the Second Imperial Dynasty of China. Okay, we're not going to talk about takeaways, but we're going to talk about the Han Dynasty, where it's commonly believed that the first ever compass was actually invented. Now, it was made of lodestone, which is simply a naturally magnetized mineral called magnetite. Now, I want you to imagine back then the power of belief that the person who effectively discovered that, who invented the compass, the power of belief that they had, the belief in something that works with forces invisible to the human eye. How much belief they must have had to bring that to the emperor, tell him about it, in an era of time where if you kind of said or did something wrong, then the chances are you are probably going to be beheaded before lunch. Okay? Now, what I want to do is fast forward to where we are now and spend a little bit of time talking about my compass and how the constant use of it has helped to enhance and maintain my power of belief, and that I will continue to succeed in everything that I choose to, but more specifically in this wonderful project of CFX that we have right now. Now, my compass stays hidden until I make a decision. It's not physical. It uses mostly things that are also invisible to the human eye. It's effectively made up of a collection of tools and skills that I've honed over the years to basically come together with great synchronicity, that effectively helps me reach my goals by constantly reinforcing and enhancing and maintaining the power of belief in the decision that I made. So the first thing I had to do was actually make a decision. Once I'd made that decision, and that decision was that CFX is a project that I am planting my flag, a project that I will give my commitment to, a project that I will share with others, put my skin in the game and put everything behind it. Once I'd made that decision, my compass naturally comes to bear. So what is it? What is my compass? Well, it starts off with my commitment. And that commitment is, first of all, a decision on what's your first time commitment going to be. Is it a week? Is it a day? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 30 days? Is it 90 days? What is it? You have to make that decision on your initial time. Then you have to make a commitment to yourself. So I make my commitment to me that not only am I going to commit to this project for an initial amount of time, I'm going to make sure that I make that commitment to myself to not get distracted, to not get my focus shifted, to not get deterred from the decision that I made. Following on from that, I make sure that I tell myself that once my commitment is made to honour my own decision, that I can, that I will, end of story, achieve what I set my stall out to do initially. And that's really, really important to make that commitment, because if you don't make that commitment to both time, to both yourself and what you want to achieve, then how are you going to know when enough is enough? How are you going to know when to stop? How are you going to know if you should stop unless you set some initial boundaries and commitments for yourself? But commitment can't stop there. Commitment also has to be made to your generals, to your runners, to those first people you talk to about your decision, those team players, those pyromaniacs, as I like to call them. When I mean pyromaniacs, I mean those people they are natural born fire starters. They like to light a fire under themselves and absolutely propel themselves forward in any decision that they make. They're the people that I make my commitment to equally as strong as I make it to myself. And when those people understand the level of commitment that you're giving, it does nothing but help to enhance their power of belief that they've also made the right decision in joining you on your path. Because like any decision on any project, you'll never see huge success simply by working on your own. You have to do it as a unit. So commitment is first and foremost. Following on from commitment is observation. I don't mean just sitting there looking around, seeing what's going on. I mean really, really observing by looking in a mirror. It's where it all starts. Go look in the mirror, look at yourself, look into your very soul, and make sure that you know you've made a decision that you're prepared to run with. You've got to be really, really honest with yourself, because there's one person that if you try and fool, you're only going to hurt yourself and people around you, and that's you. So you have to look in the mirror, and you have to know that when you look back, that you've done the right thing, that you're going to stand by what you decided, and you're going to stick to that commitment you made. And what helps with that observation, with that raw honesty, is knowing what your goals are. And there's been previous trainings that Richard's brought to us from people around goal setting. Okay, it is one of the most fundamentally important skills that you can learn. I set my goals every single day. There are some days that I set goals to achieve in an hour. Some days I'll set goals to achieve in a couple of hours, or in a day, or a week, or a month, or a year. I have goals that span all manner of time frames, and they regularly get adjusted. So you have to observe. You have to know what your surroundings are. You have to know that you've looked at yourself in the mirror and you're okay with what you've decided to do. You know what your goals are. And then start observing those people around who are already succeeding in the business that we're in. Look at people like your upline managers, your upline directors, your upline presidents, your ambassadors like Richard. Watch what they do and replicate it. Because if they've achieved a level of success that you're looking for, then adjust your goals accordingly, carry out the activities that they've done, and you will follow a similar path. You won't follow the same path. Nobody ever does. All of our paths and journeys to reach our own goals of success are all different and unique. Okay? But one thing to know is we used to get in trouble when we were younger for this, right? All of us did. I'm sure many of us got told off by a teacher in school or whatever. But being a copycat, okay, used to get in real trouble for it. But you know what? That counts now as one of my biggest skills in my observation part of my compass. Because you're finding people that have got what you want, you're observing them, and you're replicating what they do. That's absolutely the purest definition of being a copycat. But don't copy everyone. It's okay to be a copycat so long as you find the right cat to copy. So that is observation. That is the second part of my compass. Now, the next is mindset. Again, this is something that there's been regular trainings on from multiple people that Richard's brought to this community. Mindset is fundamental, and you cannot let it waver. And there are some things that you can do to help you with that. Focusing on your goals, focusing on your targets. For me, one key target for me was I've always wanted a Range Rover. Never had one. I've now been able to go out and buy one for cash. It was a huge thing for me. Do you know what me doing that actually did? It wasn't a, right, I'm done now. It was a, this project has let me achieve one of the biggest things I've always wanted to do in my entire life. So all it has done is absolutely strengthen, solidify, and increase my power of belief in the project that we have, because it's already allowing me to achieve those financial and physical goals that I've had for a very long time. So focus on those. Focus on that why. Is it travel? Probably not at the moment, right? But when everything settles down and we're able to travel to the places that we dream of again, keep their focus in your mind. Is it early retirement that you're looking for? Maybe it is, maybe it is. Maybe you're already retired and you're worried about the fact that you have a pension that really isn't cutting the mustard, for want of a better phrase. Have your mindset focused on the problems that you're trying to solve. Focused on those goals that you're trying to achieve. Maybe it's a case of you want a debt-free life. Wonderful. It's also something that I've been able to achieve. Complete debt freedom. Not betrothed to anybody. And it is a wonderful feeling to reach each and every one of these goals. You can start them as just a holiday. Then it's a debt-free life. Then it's a new car, a new house, whatever they may be. They're going to be different for everybody. My mindset on my goals, my achievements will be different to Richard's, Kathleen's, Martin's, Mickey's, Steve's, people that I'm just picking off in random on this call. But it's so very important to understand why you're doing what you're doing every single day, or every other day, or part-time, or full-time, or however much time you're dedicating to the project will determine how much of your mindset is critical to your success. And there's one thing to know, to be certain of, and please for 1 minute do not be naive enough to think that you will never ever be disliked or hated for doing what you wanted to do and achieving your goals. You will get haters. It's a given. It's a fact. It's human nature. Haters stands for people that are having anger towards everyone reaching success. There is nobody within the project that is going to hate your success. There is nobody within the project that is going to have anger towards you achieving your goals. So you must have a solid mindset that allows any external hatred to you, to your success, to the project, to just bounce off you like a bulletproof vest. Mindset is critical, and it will get stronger and stronger as time passes. Every single Saturday you get a trading return. Every single Saturday you get a uni level. Every 1st and 16th when you get a matrix. They will all count to strengthening your mindset, to strengthening the ability to know you're going to reach your goals. The next thing after mindset is a little bit more fundamental to the day-to-day activity. Planning. Oh, I can hear people now. Oh, I hate planning. Oh, why? Why do I have to? Because if you don't plan it, it ain't going to work. It's just not. If you fail to plan, you can plan to fail. You'll have heard that 1,000 times from people. There's nothing new there. Now, I've had a lifetime of it. Being a project and a program manager, a fundamental part of every single day is planning activity. Who's doing what? When are they doing it? How long is it going to take? How long are they going to do it for? What could go wrong? If something goes wrong, what's the backup? How do I circumvent that? Planning is critical. I live almost every part of my life by the 7 Ps. It's an old military phrase, and I swear by it. The 7 Ps you can put to work when you're making a meal. The 7 Ps you can put to work when you're planning your journey to work, if you're commuting. The 7 Ps you can put to work to know what you're going to do for the next 2 hours of your day. The 7 Ps are quite simply: prior planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. If you plan it, you will achieve it. It's like Kevin Costner's Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. If you plan it, you will achieve it. So why and how can you use that? Well, think about it. You make your evening meal. You plan it. You know what your ingredients are. You know what the recipe is. You know when to put stuff in the oven, when to put stuff in the pan, when to take it out, when to serve it, where the sauce goes. That's the 7 Ps. You've planned it. You've prepared it. It's all done beforehand. You've served it. There you go. Wonderful meal. Same with your commute to work. You know what the commute is. You know your normal route. But do you just get on the road and follow it? No. You maybe listen to the radio, listen to the travel news. You do some prior preparation. Is that route still clear? If it isn't, you get sat-nav out. You pick an alternate route. You prepare. You plan. The 7 Ps. Live by it. The next important thing is to always have on hand a diary, a journal for writing stuff down. Whether it's booking appointments, whether it's agreeing meeting times with people, whether it's making sure that you've got the right information to be on a call or to present, or your notes. It doesn't matter whether that diary is physical. It doesn't matter if that diary is digital or electronic. Most diaries are these days, right? So it may be critical to your success to have a diary that's by the side of your keyboard, that's in your phone, but have it accessible. The next tool that I use for my planning is one of these little bad boys, a timer. It's so very important. It's a £3 kitchen timer from Amazon that allows me to set a timer for a specific amount of time. Okay. Now,
Of course, it's a timer.
planning. Sorry, I think there's some just some muting that that we need to deal with there. Using a timer to block out your time is it's super important because it allows you to stay focused on what you're trying to achieve in that period. So for example, if you have decided that you're going to spend an hour reaching out to people on LinkedIn, shut everything else down on your computer. You don't need it. Have LinkedIn open, have a timer set for an hour. Bang, spend nothing but an hour doing that. You will be amazed the amount you will get achieved. I know people that have said, "Oh, I spent 3 hours on LinkedIn today," but they didn't. They maybe spent 20 minutes sending messages, looking for people. Then they popped over to Facebook and did a bit of scrolling. Then they popped over and did a bit of email. Then they did a little bit of Google searching. Focus your time. Block the task out. You can do this for hours, for 2 hours, for a day, whatever. Find what works for you, but block your time out. And the final thing about planning is setting smart goals, smart objectives, whatever you want to call them. This is straight out of the corporate world, okay? This is not something new. This isn't reinventing the wheel. This isn't coming up with a brand new idea that's so unique it's going to change the world. This has been around for decades, but it can be applied to this project just as easily as anything. A SMART goal is specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it's time-based. So what is a SMART goal? Company have just introduced a new rank, mentor, awesome. There's no financial benefit to it, but is it a SMART goal? Close, but not quite. The reason it's not really a SMART goal is because it meets the specific requirement. It's there, mentor, it's a specific goal. It meets measurable. To reach mentor, you must have 3 direct referrals. Okay, so we can measure it. Is it attainable? Absolutely, it's attainable. Everybody can do that. It doesn't matter how long it takes, right? Is it relevant? Yeah, of course it is. It's a relevant goal within this project. Is it time-based? That's where it falls down. No. Mentor as a goal is not it's not a truly SMART goal because it's not time-based. So let's look at another goal, executive. It's a perfect definition of a SMART goal or a SMART target or whatever you want to add on at the end. Now, why? Why is executive perfect? Well, it's a fundamental financial increase in your income. All right, so outside of the SMART arena, it's a goal that we are all striving to achieve. In my humble opinion, executive is the most powerful rank in the entire reward plan until you get to the top because of the increase in uni level when you get to that point. Now, is it specific? Yeah, it is. Rank of executive, it's specific. We all know what that means. Is it measurable? Well, yeah, there's definitive requirements that we have in order to reach executive. 3 direct referrals. There's 25,000 points in volume. There's only 15,000 points in volume from 1 leg. Yeah, absolutely, it's measurable. Is it attainable? Yep. Excuse me. Yes, it's absolutely attainable because thousands and thousands and thousands of people have and will continue to achieve it. I've helped over 40 people reach the rank of executive in less than 7 months. So it's absolutely attainable. Is it relevant? Yes, it is, because it's the first financial reward and bonus within our project. something that every single one of us on this call, there's 750 odd that are watching this right now, and the hundreds of thousands of other people that have yet to achieve it, I can tell you now they're all desperately trying to get to that first rank. Is it time-based? Yes. 30 days rolling cycle. So it is absolutely a perfect, smart goal. So plan your way to achieving executive. Use the 7 Ps. Block out your time. Use your diary, your calendar. Use those tools to achieve your goals. So that's a bit about planning. The next part of my compass, the next waypoint, if you will, is action. What do you mean, action? We hear talk about this all the time. Take massive action. Do it now. It's right. Take action now. You've made a decision. Once you've made a decision, once you've made that commitment, once you've observed your surroundings, you've got your mindset in play, you've planned your way to what you're going to achieve, take action. Don't just then sit there going, oh, well, I kind of know what I'm going to do, but, well, yeah, you know what? Rugby's on. I've got dinner tonight. Excuses. Stop them. Take action now. Don't delay. It's only yourself that you're going to try and fool. It's only yourself that you're going to harm in the long run. You've got a tool in your hand. Most of us have this, a smartphone. I remember the days when I first started in business in general. A phone was unheard of. My first mobile phone, I had to carry a battery on a shoulder strap. You couldn't do anything other than send a short text message and dial a number. These days, you can run an entire business from what's in my hand. And we're glued to them. Take advantage of the way society is heading, the way technology is allowing us to be more efficient with our time. It gives us more capability to take more action immediately. We have such an array of ability to contact other human beings. Think of all the platforms that we're all on. We don't just have the ability to pick up a phone or send a text or an email, but we can communicate through memes and pictures and videos and voice audios, and we can send them through Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Snap. Chat. There is hundreds of different media platforms that socially integrate us with billions of other people around the world. You know what you want to do. You know what you want to talk about. You've planned how to do it. You've got the capability of communicating with possibly 90% of every single human being on the planet if you choose. So don't just sit there deciding if you're going to take action. Count yourself down and do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Do something. And you know what? If you've got your little timer set for an hour, and then you decide to count down and do something, do you know what? Even if you count down and send a message, force yourself to count down, send a message. Count down, send a message, and you do that for an hour. It's phenomenal what you'll achieve. The thing is, it doesn't matter if you don't have every single day as a high productivity day. It doesn't matter. It's okay. It's perfectly okay to have a low productivity day. The one thing I'll say is, don't ever have a 0 activity day or a 0 productivity day, because that's when you start doing damage to your future business. Now, you don't have to build this full time. A lot of people are very successful building it part-time with just a little bit of time every day. Imagine that you did nothing in this business for 6 months. Where would you be? exactly where you are right now. You'd be in the same place in 6 months' time. You'd be a little bit better off because you've been getting your passive returns every single Saturday. But if you did a little something every day, let's imagine that, let's say you did 30 minutes. 30 minutes, not 9 hours, 30 minutes every single day, 7 days a week, 30 minutes for 6 months. That same 6-month period. Do you realize that in that time you would have done 84 solid hours of work? 3.5 solid days of activity. Now imagine 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, send a message. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, send a message. Can you imagine doing that for 84 hours straight? Imagine how many people you would have spoken to. Imagine how many people would be in your business. Imagine where you would be in 6 months' time if all you did was spend 30 minutes every single day. Action is what will give you that fast growth. It's action that's allowed me to achieve what I've achieved by supporting my team. Now, nothing comes for free, okay? Absolutely nothing. So the next thing I want to talk about is sacrifice, okay? This is the penultimate point on my compass. Now, sacrifice is something that sometimes it's forced upon us. Sometimes we sacrifice things through choice. Sometimes sacrifice is something that we have to make a conscious decision on in order to reach a goal. It's a trade-off. We want a reward, we're going to sacrifice something for it. Imagine when you were a kid. You really want that dessert. You want that apple pie and custard, right? But you really don't want to eat the rest of your greens. But you kind of sacrifice the fact that you hate greens. You're going to force yourself to do something that you don't really want to do because you really want that reward. Or maybe when you're a bit older, you want to buy your first motorbike. So you sacrifice something to save for that bike. Here's the thing. At the moment, a lot of the things that I would normally coach people, educate people on thinking about sacrificing, some of them are being forced upon us right now because of the pandemic. So I would often say to people, just turn off the TV. It's the biggest drain of your time. You find yourself just absorbed in some nonsensical drivel that's not doing anything for you. Turn it off. Maybe you'll sacrifice going to the cinema. But if you sacrifice going to the cinema, which is kind of forced upon us now, say you were somebody that went to the cinema every week or every 2 weeks. Imagine sacrificing one cinema ticket. That's a 3-hour outing, right? Time you get there, watch a movie, get home. Imagine sacrificing a cinema ticket and spending 3 hours on your business. Oh, hang on a minute. Once a week, half an hour a day, half an hour times 6 is 3 hours. That's almost a full week's effort on your business just by giving up a cinema ticket. Sacrificing nights out with friends every now and again. I really miss the times where I'd go and have a poker night with the boys. But you know what? Right now, I can't. I still have those in my schedule. So all I do is I divert the time that I would have spent on a poker night, having a few beers, having some fun, winning or losing some money with the boys. Divert that time to building my business. I don't replace a loved activity with something that I'm just filling time with. I turn that time to my business. So it's not even now a real sacrifice. I don't do any charity events at the moment. I used to love doing stuff and raising money for charity that basically give me a bit of personal growth physically at the same time. I can't do those at the moment. I divert that time. The training I would have spent on those, I turn that time to building my business. I don't really go out much on my bike at the moment. I don't even have my Ducati anymore. I'll get another one. So that's something I personally given up. Used to love that. It's given up now, temporarily, while I divert the business to reach the goals I want to achieve. I'll be filling that with a Porsche soon. Giving up other hobbies. I play airsoft a lot. Normally we'll run around the woods playing soldiers, having fun like idiots, and I'll be in charge of a couple of hundred people. I don't do that at the moment. That time is spent building my business because I can't hook up with these guys. I can't travel with my partner. So again, what do? I divert time to my business. Do you know why? So I'm building that pot. So when we can travel again, it's going to be first class all the way. Because I've sacrificed that time. That's, in fact, the sacrifice isn't really there because it's been forced on me by the pandemic. So all I've done is recognize that fact and diverted that time to my business. But your life is different to my life. Your life may not have been impacted in the same way. You may still have to travel to your work. You may still have the opportunity to see people regularly. So you have to make your own decisions on what you're prepared to give up temporarily to achieve something that's going to sustain you for a long time. So sacrifices is key. You'll have to make some kind. So the last point on the compass and the last part of the training today is success. We all know what that looks like in our own mind. What does it look like in the project, in CFX? How do we recognize and how do we share our success with others? Well, first and foremost, it's through ranks, because everybody can see what our rank is. Executive, manager, director, president, ambassador, global ambassador, whatever. On the back of that, that's the front end success. That's the bonus of hitting the rank. But at the back end, the success that for me is helping other people to achieve their goals. The joy that that fills me with far outweighs a Rolex or a Porsche or a Ferrari. Now, I'm not going to lie, the financial remuneration of the Bitcoin is huge for me. It's changed my life in more ways than I can ever imagine. So think about success and what that means to you. Is it just monetary? And if it is, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I often say to the universe, it's okay to have everything I want. It's okay to be wealthy. It's okay to have freedom and choices. So once you know what success means to you throughout your book, your path, how do you get there? How does the compass guide you to success? You've got to start. And if that means employing your compass, stealing my compass if you like, go for it. But start and use whatever tools are there at your disposal to keep you on your path to success. It's going to be an up and down journey. The route you take will change many, many times. There will be periods of acceleration and there will be periods of deceleration. Why? Because life. That's why. So use your tool set once you've started. Plug into the system. Plug into the trainings. Plug into your upline, your active upline who is trying to pour fuel on you because you're one of their pyromaniacs. Get yourself connected to those people who are succeeding and achieving what your level of success looks like. Work your business daily. Remember, 30 minutes a day. Just that alone. You've done 84 hours of consistent work in 6 months. It's really not a lot. Once you realize this path, once you realize the steps involved to reach your success, what the plan is, the solidity of your mindset, the observation skills that you've put into play, the commitment you've made to you, your team, and your success, that is the time that you will achieve it. That's the end of my compass. That is how I achieve what I achieve in this business and in life in general. Once I've made a decision, commitment, observation, mindset, planning, action, sacrifice, and success. Richard, appreciate you again for the opportunity to come on and do this training for you.
Brilliant job there, Jason. Fantastic presentation. Lots and lots of important little nuggets there. I was making notes as you were going through. And I mean, a couple of things that, again, I'd like to reiterate is, is the time management. When you're building the business, particularly part-time, when I first started my network marketing career, it was part-time. I was a sales director in the City of London, so I was working long hours doing that. I was had a commute as well. So I made sure that, well, in that instance, because I had a very strong why, which is the other thing I always like to talk about, I had a really strong motivation when I came into the network marketing industry because I desperately wanted to get out of the corporate world. I hated working for other people. I hated the linearity of the income, even though it was a lot as a sales director. Every year I was starting all over again. So I really hated that. And I wanted to be my own boss. And I looked at traditional businesses and I didn't like that. So network marketing was the vehicle for me. And so I had to really, we were talking, Jason was talking about sacrifice there. I had to sacrifice initially because I literally had no free time at all. I was literally coming home late, getting on the call. Weekends were spent on calls or meeting people. But it was that strong why that motivated me to keep pushing forward. So again, I'll always say that, guys, if you don't have a strong why in the business, you really are going to struggle to find the how. So really think about, why are you doing this business? What is important to you? It could be a pension. It could be just the fact that you want to have a better lifestyle. It could be because, like myself, want to get out of the corporate world or get away from your traditional business. Whatever it is, think about that and how important that is to you. And then what little time you have, particularly if you might be a very busy business person, for example, working long hours in that. So there's a challenge therein. But that's, again, so you think about that, the time that you are going to have to sacrifice to get to achieve your goals, your why. But time management is really important, getting back to what I was originally saying, because it is so easy to be doing activities that are not going to get you paid. You can be very busy in something and really not doing things that are going to get you paid. And I think there are various things. For example, often people become manager of the universe. They start off, they start building a small team, and before you know it, they're managing their team and not doing the activities that they need to continue to be doing. For example, introducing new people, inviting people to be on the calls, this, that, and the other. If you do that, what happens is, well, invariably the people in your team aren't necessarily people that are going to want to build. They don't necessarily want to be managed either. Because you can become a pain to your team if you're not careful, and so you're spending a lot of time managing your team but not doing the activities that are going to make you money. And that is certainly early on, is thinking about where you can generate leads for your business. That's always a really important activity. It's something that often people get to a certain point, they run out of leads and they go, oh well, never mind. You wouldn't do that in a traditional business. There's no way. If you ran out of leads for your business, you'd be thinking all the time, where am I going to generate my next lead from? And by the way, that's what I had to do. When I first started my network marketing career, I was not very good, admittedly, at the beginning. So I had to learn a lot. But one of the things I did was I went through my warm market very quickly and really got it wrong. So I had to go out there and find people that I didn't know to be able to show the business. So I started thinking about that. I spent a lot of time thinking, how am I going to do this? And thought of every which way I could. Things have changed now. We've got so many more opportunities to be able to show or find people for the business with the everything online, etc. But in those days, I did things like leaflet dropping. I was leaving leaflets in waiting rooms. I was leaving leaflets in job centers. I was buying leads. I actually used to purchase leads as well. I was investing into my business, which was, I got mixed results, but I did find good people from that. Basically, I joined breakfast meetings. I was thinking of every which way I could to generate leads for my business. I joined one business that they required me to sort of approach people that were in the financial market, financial advisors and stuff. I didn't know any financial advisors. So what I did was I got out the yellow pages and started approaching people in there. Again, treating it like a real business, So even though I came into that business not knowing anyone in that market, I still became one of the top income earners in that business with a massive team filled up with accountants, financial advisors, etc. So again, it was just treating the business like a real business. So focus on the things that are going to get you paid. As I said, it's so easy to get to the end of the day and you've been really busy, but you haven't actually done anything to building your business. So if you're starting off new, things like generating leads for your business, making sure that you're inviting. Remember, this is not a business of you trying to convince people or anything else. This is a business of inviting. You've got all the tools, all the presentation materials for you. You want to just get people invited to go along and see those things. If you do that, and it's that consistent activity, that is what's going to get you paid. Let's have a look. And the other thing is this, that it is a journey. And this is, I think one of the things is that people look at a business like this, and you see for example, the leadership prizes we have, things like the Porsches and the Ferraris and this, that, the other. Those are fantastic, but they're miles away when you first start. You're looking at the top of a mountain and thinking, oh my goodness, that's a long way away for me. And I'm not sure that I'm ever going to get there. But the key thing, it's like any journey, you've got to break it down into those small steps. And Jason was talking about executive. Executive is the most important part of this business, without a doubt. You cannot survive. It doesn't matter. You can be a director or even a president in the business. I'll give you an example. I actually dropped back as a president for one day because someone in my team had dropped back as an executive. So that person had dropped back as an executive, which made someone above him drop back as a manager, which made the person above them drop back as a director, and I dropped back as president. Now, we quickly addressed that, which again is an important thing while you continue to monitor your business. But executive positions are so important. So first goals is start introducing people to the project. Set yourself goals to get to executive. Put yourself timeframes on that. And then basically work your plan. Go through this with lots of training on this, on goal settings, about monitoring your business, that kind of thing, and consistency, activity. And I think that's the final thing I will say is that, if you treat your business like a real business, activity, you're going to get lots of setbacks, lots of challenges along the way, lots of disappointments. People are going to disappoint you. You think you introduce someone, you think they're going to do fantastic, and they do nothing. It's all part of the business. And by the way, if you want to understand that mindset, there's a fabulous training by a gentleman called Jim Rohn. You can look it up on YouTube. It's called Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. That was such a motivator for me in my early career that I used to listen to that again and again and again, because he nails it. Absolutely, the process, the mindset, and everything else you need to be successful, and the challenges that you will face. One of his great sayings is that the same wind blows on all of us. It's the set of the sail that counts and gets you to your destination. So, it's the same thing when you're facing a challenge. That was one of the things that for me in my early career, when things weren't going right for me, and that happened a lot, I just understood that that was normal. That was such a powerful thing for me. I just understood that wasn't normal. It wasn't just me. It's the same for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, you're going to receive the same challenges. And it's how you manage those disappointments and how you keep moving forward. That's a key thing. But just understand, it's not just you. It's the same for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, you're going to receive these challenges. And it's how you deal with them that counts. And it's that keep moving forward, keep moving forward. And as I said, you talk to people in CFX that are successful, and they'll all say the same thing. They can't believe where they are now, considering where they started. They came in ones and twos, but they just kept moving forward. As you know, Hazel Moore just went director the other day. You know, she's 70 years old this year, never done anything like this before. I don't think she has a strong business background or anything like that. She came into the business, didn't have a clue, but she just followed the Power Build system step by step, and put in the activities. And I remember, you know, she started introducing people, which was a big thing for her early on. Those people then started, you know, introducing a few others, and before she knew it, she had a small team. And then she hit a point where she couldn't find any leaders that wanted to get to executive and beyond, but she kept on introducing. And now she's got a team of over 2,000 people. She's got, I think, 78 people personally enrolled. That alone with the fast start is going to make her an absolute fortune. And she's just gone director. She's on a 100K pack, and you know, she's now like, I'm pinching myself. I can't believe what's happened. So the business is a great leveler. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, as long as you follow the system, as long as you treat the business like a real business and just keep stepping, you'll be amazed that you'll get to the top of the mountain. And it doesn't matter if it takes you 6 months. I mean, Jason here, congratulations, Jason, is flying with the business. And he's going to get to the top of the mountain quicker than most people. In fact, the way he's going, he's going to accelerate past me the way he's going. So the fact is, but it doesn't matter how long it takes. If it takes you 2 years or 3 years to get to the top of the mountain, you're still at the top of the mountain. That's the bit that counts. And particularly with a business like this, because what you are building is something that pays you again and again and again. And that was something that really motivated me. That's why I became excited of it. Even though I was earning a lot of money in the corporate world, for me to come into a business that would pay me again and again and again for that one-time effort is so exciting. That is one of the wonderful features of any network marketing business, but in particular CFX, particularly as we've got a business here that everyone makes money with the business, which is very exciting. So you really do have an amazing model here. That was a fantastic training, Jason. Thank you very much. And I hope you picked up a lot from it. As usual, it'll be edited and posted in the back office in the library, so you'll be able to watch it again. You know, I always recommend watching these things more than once because you pick up a lot more second time round. So I hope you found that useful, guys. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we will speak soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.